What would you like to be? Would you like to be an MD?
Government tax and cutbacks, feeding the fat cats. House of the Parliament members cruising round in polished Jags, living a life of superstars, flash cars, cigars, sporting designer fitted suits, living in six-figure yards. Homosexual MPs, penthouses and Bentleys, putting pressure on the ghetto youth while they be living rent-free. This shit, it vexes me immensely, feel it intensely. Coincidentally, while they waste money, my belly's empty. All these jar major players, Tony Blair, who don't care, William Hague. All these people are more deadly than the plague, infecting all of us like AIDS, cutting our salary and wage. Even a single parent benefit is not enough these days. Living a basic life or facing life from a poor angle. Caught up in the Bill Clinton fiction, rough life of scandal. The government is a shambles, burning 666 candles, spinning an evil web of conspiracy. Innocently, we're all entangled. Look at the education situation with more cutbacks than Tony Vegas. They shut down our schools without no explanation. Full of promises, secretly demolishing colleges so they can leave us knowledge lacking fundamental qualities. The National Health Service is the disgrace. Young doctors and nurses working 18-hour shifts while struggling to stay awake. They operate in buildings still in a Victorian state with lack of facilities and poor health care and meager pay. These same MPs applying the cutback rules, get special treatment in Cooper hospitals and send their kids to private schools. They don't know about the struggle, all these hierarchy bosses warm with silver spoons in their mouth, but most come from higher classes. 60-year-olds see now MPs with grey hair full of sleeping House of Commons chairs, waking up to shout here, here. They dine in fine restaurants.
Hey, ahora.
Hospitals and send their kids to private schools. They don't know about the struggle, all these hierarchy bosses warm with silver spoons in their mouth, but most come from higher classes. 60-year-olds see now MPs with grey hair full of sleeping House of Commons chairs, waking up to shout here, here. They dine in fine restaurants and drink expensive wine, while we live on the breadline, treated like scumbags and swines. Government tax and cutbacks, feeding the fat cats. Houses of Parliament members cruising round in polished Jags, living a life of superstars, flash cars, cigars, sporting designer fitted suits, living in six-figure yards. Homosexual MPs, penthouses and Bentleys, putting pressure on the ghetto youth while they be living rent-free. This shit, it vexes me immensely, feeding intensely. Coincidentally, while they waste money, my belly's empty. It's a sad state of affairs where people like Tony Blair be telling me that my benefit's sufficient and it's fair. Let's really be forthright, because it be dark inside my foresight, and I can't be living with £75 for a blasted fortnight. It can't be right, I can't believe what's happening here. There's people making more in the day than I can make in a year. The fat cat bureaucrats look around for the further cutbacks, but they're not prepared to put a cutback in the weekly pay pack. The educational system for wisdom be full of the crooks, cause they're spending money in brothels instead of buying some books. Depriving the young just to receive a bung or a backhander, to pray for a bribe cause they're caught inside a web of lies and slander. The National Health Service is a state where you have to wait for a further date to investigate cancer cells inside your prostate. So cutbacks material wealth jeopardize your health because of a lack of life insurance. Your case is put on the shelf because of the cutbacks and public transport. Some lives are cut short, buses and trains crashing and leave you distraught. You're lost in a land of obscurity, reclaiming social security. We are forced to live in a state where the border lacks in impurity. The rich work for the rich while the poor be getting the poor deal, and a dead end 9 to 5 just to try to survive the ordeal. I've worked in so many agency jobs to the more than boring, where I try to save for rainy days but it seems it's always pouring. I can't afford to close the cost on a money and leg, cause after the bills and the rent there's barely enough for some eggs. I've had to steal to get a square meal and risk my freedom, but I wish my life was fruitful just like the Garden of Eden. Government tax and cutbacks, feeding the fat cats. Houses of Parliament members cruising round in polished Jags, living the life of superstars, flash cars, cigars, sporting designer fitted suits, living in six-figure yards. Homosexual MPs, penthouses and Bentleys, putting pressure on the ghetto youth while they be living rent-free. This shit, it vexes me immensely, feeding intensely. Coincidentally, while they waste money, my belly's empty. These people are living lavishly, way above averagely, treating us savagely while they drink tea with a royal highness, their majesty. Poverty-stricken families caught up in this calamity. Angrily, life I spit on the government's non-charity sanity. They promise millions like to citizens and civilians, and this life can only get worse with the birth of the new millennium. Dealing with self-wealth for their self, greedy and mean. While they cut backs cause tragic scenes like padded and green. While they live their life of leisure, bodies get buried like treasure, dying on public transport, victims of slack safety measures. Plus all these hard times and some schism, of course in a big surge in crime has leads to overcrowded British prisons. Haven't they learned their lesson from the last recession? Employment and economy are the type of things to be addressing. The country's in a state and instead of MPs doing something, they'd rather be blowing a trumpet on the horse while fox hunting. government tax and cutbacks, feeding the fat cats. Houses of parliament members cruising round in polished jags, living the life of superstars, flash cars, cigars, putting designer fitted suits, living in six-figure yards. Homosexual MPs, penthouses and Bentleys, putting pressure on the ghetto youth while they be living rent-free. This shit it vexed me immensely, feeling intensely. Coincidentally, while they waste money, my belly's empty.
Politician. A wolf in sheep's clothes is what describes you best. The government. Busy deceiving, achieving.